Supercarriers are the floating mobile fortresses of the U.S. Navy. These massive and imposing maritime vessels carry and transport 6,000 sailors within their fortified hulls. They are deployed worldwide to engage in a variety of missions in maintaining peace and order in the seven seas. Welcome back to the channel. And today, we'll get to experience life on the high seas in an unreal tour that explores the USS Gerald R. Ford. We'll be taking a look at life inside these supercarriers and determine what it takes to keep one in tip-top shape. Supercarriers act as the mobile headquarters of the Navy's best and brightest. Weighing in at an astonishing 100,000 tons and a speed of 35 knots, these massive naval bastions mark on important peacekeeping missions and administer crucial aid to the Navy. From safeguarding the oceans, transporting troops to the front lines, deploying aircraft to secure the airspace, to simply providing shelter and reprieve. They contain a wide range of facilities necessary to maintain operational capacity beyond the shores. These facilities enable supercarriers to remain self-sufficient and operational for periods of time without the need to dock and replenish. It contains everything from a bustling bridge and flight deck to mess halls and sleeping quarters for the brave men and women who help keep supercarriers at 100% capacity. Sailors enjoy amenities that approximate the comforts of civilization as they carry on with their duties. Their own slice of home away from home. You can find almost everything from your standard sleeping bunks, well-equipped gym facilities, fully stocked laundry area, to a mess hall ready to feed hungry sailors. The mess hall is undoubtedly one of the most important facilities of the ship. This is where sailors eat their meals and socialize with their peers during downtime. Keeping sailors and troops well-fed and healthy is of the utmost importance. Without a well-balanced and fulfilling meal, the crew's productivity and morale could be severely hindered, which leads to the degradation of the supercarrier and its ability to perform crucial actions. They're simply denying the importance of keeping troops fed and healthy, but feeding thousands of troops 3 times a day for weeks on end is an entirely different matter. Cooking well-rounded healthy meals for thousands is no simple undertaking, which is why the Navy's cooks are well-trained in the art of cooking. The Navy employs specialized chefs, bakers, and culinary specialists to oversee the work in the galley, where these men and women make the challenge of feeding thousands into a piece of cake. These talented chefs use a predetermined 15-day menu, taking into account the necessary caloric intake and nutritional value needed to keep sailors going. The galley itself is outfitted with a state-of-the-art equipment and facilities to cook large batches of food on a daily basis. There's also the incredible volume of food items that the team rigorously maintains and monitors to keep the ship well supplied and the sailors well fed. All of these converge to meet the dining needs of thousands of hungry sailors. It's estimated that the team prepares 16,000 to 18,000 meals in a single day, from breakfast time to the midnight bouts of hunger. The galley practically works on a 24/7 basis. Supercarriers also feature fully stocked and functioning convenience stores. These convenience stores practically offer the same products and services akin to land-based stores. Convenience stores offer additional smaller food items like bottled drinks and sugary snacks, as well as necessary hygiene products to keep the sailors hygienic and comfortable. These convenience stores are supervised and managed by retail service specialists who maintain and keep the convenience stores supplied at all times. Heck, some aircraft carriers even come with Starbucks, catering the caffeinated needs of sailors. It's incredible how well the Navy manages and accommodates the basic needs of its venerable sailors, and it's all thanks to the ingenious resupply strategy developed by the U.S. Navy called the replenishment at sea. The name says it all. It's the process by which patrolling aircraft carriers and supercarriers resupply while at sea. The system was developed and implemented during World War II. Wartime necessitated quick and efficient means of resupplying ships while at sea, and thus the system was born. The system employs two types of replenishment, one by air and one by sea. Vertical replenishment is undertaken by helicopters ferrying supply crates to the ship's flight deck. The weight limitations of a chopper significantly reduce the speed and efficiency of replenishment. This is why supercarriers rely primarily on alongside connected replenishment or CONREP. This is the most used and efficient means of replenishment, using a delivery vessel to deliver supplies while in motion. During the resupply window, a supply ship cruises alongside the receiving ship. Both vessels decelerate and cruise at a steady pace of 12 to 16 knots to reduce sway and turbulence during the replenishment. As the vessels cruise simultaneously, the crew of the delivering vessel begins transporting supplies, grocery items, and ammunition via a ram tensioner pulley system. A similar process is used for refueling maritime vessels, where a refueling hose is extended and attached. These two replenishment methods enable the U.S. Navy's fleet to maintain its course while keeping its wares stocked and replenished. These replenishment strategies are vital to maintaining the operational capacity of vessels. It allows aircraft carriers and supercarriers to maintain maximum operational capacity for long periods of time and ensure the completion of their assigned tasks. Of course, 3 warm meals a day in a convenience store are not the only recreational amenities provided to sailors. Supercarriers can have some fun in a while in the form of swim calls and steel beach parties. Have you ever wanted to dive off a supercarrier? Because that's what a swim call is. Swim calls are voluntary recreational activities for sailors that allow them to dive into the sea and relax while the supercarrier is stationary. Swim calls are highly prized within the supercarrier as a moment to relieve stress and cool off at sea. Steel beach parties, on the other hand, are beach parties conducted at the flight deck. These parties allow sailors to unwind and mingle as the smell of freshly cooked barbecue and the sound of merriment envelops the flight deck. Now that we've covered the facilities and processes necessary to sustain use of the supercarrier, it's high time we explore the militaristic side of the ship with the flight deck. The flight deck is easily the most important and iconic feature of any supercarrier. The image of fighter jets landing and helicopters ascending is a staple in supercarriers. Managing multiple aircraft can be an extremely challenging task, one that the aircraft handling personnel and flight deck operations personnel excel at. These are the officers who brave the dangerous and daunting task of directing and maneuvering aircraft. Aircraft handling personnel are responsible for moving aircraft at the flight deck, while the flight deck operations personnel employ hand signals and verbal commands to direct aircraft during their departure and landings. Departing aircraft goes through the Ordnance Department QA final checkers, who keep a lookout for any mechanical issues that could impair or endanger the aircraft. Fighter jets are assisted by the CAT crew during their catapult-assisted flight. The CAT crew is responsible for overseeing operation of the aircraft catapult. Lastly, we have the aircraft maintenance personnel, the folks responsible for conducting routine maintenance checks and repairs to ensure that the Navy's aircraft are fully capable of undertaking any mission. Working at the flight deck is no walk in the park. The flight deck is easily the most chaotic and dangerous location on board any supercarrier. The constant and chaotic movement of aircraft requires all flight deck personnel to maintain utmost vigilance and care, because one slip-up can be the end of you. The flight deck can get especially life-threatening when there is an active threat. Supercarriers can deploy a wide range of counterattacks during live combat. Fighter jets and automated turrets are deployed to deter enemy aircraft, while anti-ship missiles and electronic weapon systems are engaged to disable enemy communications. The crew will also assume their battle stations and deploy flares and shafts to disrupt inbound enemy missiles or torpedoes, while simultaneously monitoring the situation and the supercarrier's physical integrity with ironclad vigilance. Life inside a supercarrier is no joke indeed. Serving on board these impressive vessels is a dangerous yet honorable duty for any sailor. Have you ever served inside a supercarrier? What's it like there? Share your experiences in the comments below. As always, don't forget to subscribe to discover more and experience more.